Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Rapper Nipsey Hussle's alleged killer was attacked on his way to court. Eric Holder's attorney tells TMZ that he was attacked by two people while in a holding cell. Holder needed 3 staples after being cut with what's believed to be a razor. He also may have lost consciousness during the attack. Closing arguments in the murder trial are scheduled for Thursday. Holder's accused of shooting Hussle at least 10 times, killing him in the parking lot of Hussle's South LA store in 2019.
How large this crowd is. It is getting bigger and bigger as the day goes on. People are walking up across Crenshaw, bringing flowers, balloons, anything they have to pay tribute to this man who, in many, many ways, was an icon in this community.
This was not a chance encounter. We don't think that this was a sudden engagement. The individual, we are pursuing a number of investigative leads. We're looking at video evidence. We're looking to identify a vehicle.
But no suspect in custody. When I asked LAPD Chief Michael Moore, was this a gang-related shooting? He didn't give a yes or no answer.
I think the person who's responsible for this, people involved in this, they know who they are and they're watching this right now. And I'd ask them to surrender and turn themselves in.
You think the shooter knew him?
I believe so, yes.
Chief, why would he be a target, though? Any idea?
Our investigation will determine that. Whether this was, what drove this senseless act.
Directly above the ever-growing memorial where Nipsey Hussle was killed are 3 security cameras pointing directly at the scene. Is this murder captured on video? Is the shooting on video?
No more, nothing is out. Thank you, guys.
And then he walked away. He wouldn't say yes or no if the 2 other men shot who were next to Hussle were his bodyguards, only that their wounds are not life-threatening. And he did say that the suspect left the scene in a car. This is a freeze frame of security camera video obtained by TMZ, which shows at least 2 people running from the scene. The chief wouldn't say if there were 2 suspects at large.
What makes this especially tragic is last year it was the lowest number of homicides we've ever seen in South Los Angeles, and the safest year that we've ever seen in the South Bureau.
The mayor voicing his concern this morning over the alarming number of shootings and murders in Los Angeles this past week alone. 26 people were shot, 10 were killed, including Hussle, in the last 7 days.
We're trying to understand the underlying motives and some to try to make sense of it. I don't know that we'll make sense of it.
My brother was in prison. I was in jail less than 90 days. I was on a probation violation.
In this interview with our Pat Harvey, the 33-year-old Grammy-nominated rapper made no secret that he was in a street gang as a teenager.
Y'all want to be in my documentary, cuz?
I mean, you know it's on you.
In this 2014 YouTube video, he went back to the very same area that he used to roam as a gang member, Crenshaw and Slauson to be specific, a block that he recently bought and was turning his life around and the life of many others. And then came Sunday, and now the question, who did it and why? Again, a look view from the drone above this crowd at the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson. They have shut down this intersection, so if you have any business other than wanting to come over here and pay your respects, I suggest you stay away from the area. They are not letting cars anywhere near here. It is a long, long walk. There's a very strong police presence. Back now on the ground. Now, it's so ironic that Hussle was supposed to meet today with the chief and the president of the police commission, Mr. Steve Soboroff. That meeting was scheduled for 4 o'clock in the chief's office. The subject was how to curtail gang activity in South Los Angeles. Hussle wanted to do some good That meeting was postponed because his family members want to attend, so that was put off for a couple of weeks. Again, tomorrow morning, the chief is supposed to address many issues. They are actively looking for whoever may have done this. Maybe he'll have an announcement, maybe not, but at 8:30 we should know more about where this investigation stands. Reporting now live from the Hyde Park area of Los
tonight,
Angeles.
prosecutors are sharing new details about the final moments of rapper Nipsey Hussle's life.
Yeah, they say Hussle told Eric Holder the word on the street was that he was a snitch, then Holder opened fire. KCAL9's Randy Page has newly released grand jury testimony.
Eric Holder, seen here in court, was indicted by a criminal grand jury for the murder of popular rap artist Nipsey Hussle. We now know what led the grand jury to indict him through this 512-page transcript of grand jury testimony. It begins with Prosecutor John McKinney's opening statement to the jury as he details the testimony they will hear from the prosecution's star witness, identified only as witness number 1, Eric Holder's girlfriend, who was behind the wheel of his car as the two of them pulled into a South LA strip mall where Nipsey Hussle was standing talking to friends on the afternoon of March 31st. Mr. Holder got out of the car, immediately walked up to the group where Mr. Hussle was, and then had a conversation, the prosecutor told the grand jury. That conversation is important because that conversation has something to do with Nipsey Hussle accusing Mr. Holder of snitching, which in the gang world is a very serious offense. The prosecutor went on to say Holder's girlfriend will testify she took a photograph with Nipsey Hussle and she drove Holder away from the strip mall. After they drove off, Mr. Holder pulled out a gun, told witness number 1 to drive around the block. Witness number 1 drove Mr. Holder around the block, also told him to put the gun away, the prosecutor said. She was concerned that he might shoot her accidentally or shoot somebody from her car. He then told her to pull over at a certain location near the strip mall, and he told her to wait there, he'd be right back. He walked off, back toward the parking lot, where he then walked up to within a couple of feet of Nipsey Hussle and fired multiple rounds into him from 2 different guns. Eric Holder's defense attorney tried to keep this transcript secret, saying it could violate his client's right to a free trial by tainting the jury pool. But the judge said he didn't think so. In fact, he said, and I'm quoting him now, "We live in a society that is moving away from the printed page." And in fact, he said, if the prosecutors just keep a lid on the video evidence in this case, the judge thought there wouldn't be any problem. In downtown Los Angeles, Randy Page, KCAL9 News.
Lou in court, good afternoon. The prosecution says the video evidence was crucial that Eric Holder killed Nipsey Hussle. No one's disputing that, but the question for jurors is, was this a crime of passion, or in fact, was this premeditated?
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Eric Ronald Holder Jr., guilty of the crime of first-degree murder.
Justice for Nipsey Hussle, the once gang member turned rapper and star. But the defeat for his followers and family doesn't outweigh the pain.
I'm just sad I miss my friend, he's supposed to be here. He's supposed to still be here.
It's been 3 years since Nipsey's brutal death that rocked Los Angeles. Prosecutors revealing the chilling details in court, saying Eric Holder showed up to a South LA strip mall that Nipsey owned before opening fire. The 2 men grew up together. Apparently, there was some conversation about snitching. Holder left, then 10 minutes later came back and killed Hussle. The defense arguing a heat of passion, which would carry a lesser sentence. The jurors didn't agree.
We hope that there is some resounding peace in the fact that his killer will be in prison likely for the rest of his life.
His friend Herman Douglas says, sadly, they may never know why Nipsey was killed.
Nipsey never called that man a snitch, so I heard the conversation, so I still need to know why.
With or without answers, his friends say Nipsey's legacy lives on through his community and the change he helped to create.
You know, we started off, you know, gangbangers. We started off, but we changed and we made a movement. You know, if we could do it, gangbangers on the corner, then anybody can do it. You know, he was the people's champ. You know, he was the underdog that made it.
Holder is facing 2 25-year sentences, 50 years to life in prison, and will be sentenced in September. That's very latest live in downtown Los Angeles. Jennifer McGraw, KTLA 5 News.
Jennifer, thank you. A police are...
Yo, what's the word? Shit got popped. We back to discuss some more mob business. We on our way to sunny California with it. Crenshaw to be exact. Y'all meet us at the Marathon clothing store. We don't give no fucks if his clothes are roped off. We about to pull up in front of that bitch. Now, today, I'm probably going to be covering arguably the most hated man in the world. And I'm tempted to say the most hated person ever. Knocking off the nigga that bought the Wu-Tang albums, then held them hostage, and then went on to raise the price on the sick people's medication, whatever bro name was. Because on the last day in March of 2019, the person that I'm covering today, Eric Shitty Cuz Holder, would commit an act that would go down in infamy and would literally become the target of an entire culture. There's no way possible that I would be able to tell a story of Eric Holder without talking about the late, great Nipsey Hussle. And as I'm sure others might suggest, it would probably be no reason to tell his story without Nipsey. Now, this is one of those stories where I fought myself about doing for a very long time. And one of the main things I fought myself about was, should I do the episode on Shitty Cuz or should I do the episode on Nipsey Hussle? As I'm sure some of y'all in the comment box probably would suggest. So when I finally felt like I had to ask myself which one of the two it would be, I thought really hard about two things. The first thought was, Nipsey ain't really even on that shit. And that's even with him being a self-admitted, well-known, and I'm probably sure he was a documented gang member by the county of LA. But that's not really who Nipsey became or what he was at the time of his death. He would almost spew upliftment and positivity. And the second thing that would come to my mind was, y'all could really go anywhere to find a documentary on Nipsey Hussle. So with that being said, I started trying to dig as deep as I can to find out who Shitty Cuz really was, his relationship with Nipsey Hussle, and the real reason that he killed Nipsey Hussle, as the internet is running rampant with rumors of it being circumstances other than what was suggested. We don't really do conspiracy theories over here at Mob Ties, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Now, besides the articles that tie him to Nipsey Hussle, there's not much information online about Eric Shitty Cuz Holder. But I did find some information that should give you guys a basic idea of who the most hated man in the world is. Now, Eric Holder was born in 1989 in the city of Los Angeles. Like I said, it wasn't much online about him, especially his childhood, but I did get a chance to watch several interviews. And in one of those particular videos, Eazy-E's protege and one-time artist BG Knockout would speak on Eric Holder being a city dude, as in the city of Los Angeles, saying that if you was one of those guys that was outside, you probably knew who Eric Holder was. Going even deeper, saying that Big Shitty, Little Shitty, and Baby Shitty are all LA dudes. Not sure of his relationship with the other two people that was referenced by BG Knockout, but I know how LA is, and when you're in a gang, like they said that Eric Holder was a member of the neighborhood Rolling 60s, I've seen cases where people had nicknames handed down from their OGs. It's not documented how Shitty Cuz came into contact or knew Nipsey, but I did see that the two of them attended the same high school. That school being Crenshaw High School. I also seen several interviews where people close to Nipsey said that when Nipsey found success, he found his way back to the neighborhood, trying to put on several of the guys. And with Shitty Cuz being an aspiring rapper, Now, if y'all want to go check out his SoundCloud or his Facebook page, you will find that under Fly Mac, and it will be there where you can hear songs like Bounce to This, I'm the Mac, On the Pole, as well as several other songs he would go on to release. It was even said that he was once signed to Nipsey Hussle's label. Theories would come out as to why he was no longer on the label and denied any kick it by Nipsey Hussle on that day in March of 2019. And really the most credible was him being some sort of a snitch, as it had been wide accounts that Nipsey supposedly called him a snitch before being shot. Watching another interview with somebody that was close to Nipsey Hussle, they would explain a situation of a gun charge that Eric Holder possibly got with another one of the homies from the neighborhood, saying furthermore that Eric Holder had given some kind of information to the police that would end up incriminating the other homie, leading Nipsey to let him know, you can't kick it around here. We heard you bad. Now, when a superstar is killed, you're going to get a lot of speculation, but with Nipsey's death, it just went through the roof. People claimed everything from extortion, his gang turning on him being backdoored. So it's crazy. But a lot of people to this day, a lot of people still believe that Eric Holder was put up to kill Nipsey Hussle. But no matter how much I wanted to or how hard I tried, I could not find nothing more viable than the narrative that was being pushed by the media. And that would be that Nipsey confronted him about being a snitch. But I could easily see how people could suggest anything else in this day and age when they pulling out the paperwork if somebody stole Skittles. So for it to not be no paperwork floating around, I guess that's a little bit suspicious to me. And on top of that, just like in a lot of cases that float around, once you snitch on somebody, and especially if it's in a situation where it's the magnitude of Nipsey Hussle being killed, got me looking for the person that Nipsey Hussle accused him of snitching on, because they normally pop out by now. Nonetheless, whether he was mad he was labeled as a snitch, whether he was put up to it, or whether he was jealous of Nipsey Hussle because of his music success, all of that is really irrelevant because Eric Holder's life has been turned upside down since the death of Nipsey. It would be widespread rumors that he would have two cousins killed in South Central the day after Nipsey Hussle died. Now, you guys know me. I tried to go back and do the research on homicides that happened that day to try to link them to Eric Holder. I could not find any connection. I even looked that entire week and really didn't find anything. But in that interview I referenced with BG Knockout earlier, he would go on to say that he personally seen where Eric Holder's younger brother committed suicide a few days after the death of Nipsey Hussle, going on to say that he also heard countless rumors of relatives of Eric Holder having their houses shot up as well as being murdered. There will be rumors of his dad dying. Depending on what outlet you read or what you choose to believe, they would say it was upwards of 4 family members that Eric Holder would have lost since the Nipsey Hussle murder. Not to mention they say he suffered numerous attacks while behind bars. And with the outcry of support that people still have for Nipsey to this day, I don't think his life is going to get any easier anytime soon. Now, I do want to ask y'all a question that I was a little thrown off by. Is it me? Or did Nipsey Hussle have the most impactful death in hip-hop? Or am I tripping? I do remember a lot of people being at the hospital for Tupac and them even driving Biggie's casket through Brooklyn as I stood on a car. But it was something about the death of Nipsey Hussle. And I even want to say Young Dolph, but Nipsey Hussle was just on a whole nother level. I don't think we saw the same thing for Pop Smoke. And not comparing them, just naming people. I don't think we saw that for Bankroll Fresh. We didn't see that for Takeoff. And I remember one time the Migos having as many #1 hits as the Beatles. So that let me know exactly how special Nipsey was. But y'all get in the comment box. Y'all let me know what y'all think made Nipsey's death so iconic. Because it's not like he had the longest career ever. It's not like he had the most #1 hits. It's not like he even had the most fans. But when he died, You would have thought that on all of my timelines, everybody was a Nipsey Hussle fan. And I definitely think he got more fans after death than he had before death. That's another question I want y'all to answer for me. But y'all make sure y'all hit the red subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real trill spill shit is dropping. We gonna be back with more ASAP. Y'all get in the comment box, let me know what cities we need to go to, what stories we need to tell, what gangsters we miss, and I'm on it. Shit got Popalot, man. Y'all get at me however y'all see fit. Y'all call me, text me, tag me, tweet me, email me, CC me. However y'all want to do it. Y'all know I'm with whatever. Shit got pop. Mob, gang.